This is Marcia Gaborowski. I am the Director of Business Development in Livingston County for Ann Arbor SPARK. I am joined with our Chairman of the Economic Development Council of Livingston County, James Wickman, and we are going to have a bit of a conversation with James as our outgoing chairman, and James is planning to venture into a new career opportunity and will be leaving us in his role as chair. So thank you, James, for joining us today. And how are you? And what is new with the decisions that you've made? How long have you been with the Hartland Township?
I've been at Hartland Township now for 13 years, a little over that, and it's been the most rewarding part of my career by far. But really, right now, I'm ready for that next challenge. Hartland Township is in great shape. They've got a good staff, bright future, and it's a good time to take a step. And Saginaw Township is a wonderful opportunity for me and my family. It's where we have deep family roots actually up there, so we're looking forward to being up there with family and friends. And what a wonderful community up there. They're a bit larger of an operation and community, probably about 3 times the size and population and budgets, and a bit more than that staff-wise, full service township. And I'm excited for the challenge coming ahead.
Sure. Well, we're very sad to see you go, but we do want to take the opportunity and have this conversation as the outgoing chairman of the Economic Development Council of Livingston County, and the role that you played as a public sector partner through Hartland Township to the EDC. And I think your role and your views of economic development and its evolution in Livingston County and the region. Throughout your career, you have worked in many communities and you've collaborated with communities across the country. In your eyes, what makes Hartland stand out from other communities as your experience as township manager?
Hartland is very unique. I think it's just a confluence of different circumstances and qualities that really make it special. Location, right? Geographically, it's a great location, still in Metro Detroit, right at the crossroads of 23 and 59. But it's right in that sweet spot of being an equal drive to Detroit or Lansing, Ann Arbor, Flint. In fact, we have a lot of families who commute in different directions. That makes it a good location. We have a great school system, very quality leadership and teachers with a strong support from the community. That's so important. And I think one of the things we enjoy most up here is outdoor recreational living. We have 12 lakes, a lot of open space. We have that rural character makes us just small enough to still have that small town quality feel. The quality of life, I think, even just makes folks more relaxed and just plain friendlier. In fact, that's become our sort of motto, is friendly by nature. And the community is great. We have wonderful partnerships with organizations just here. We have our Partners in Progress, which is a partnership between the township, the schools, the Chamber of Commerce, and the library that has led to our branding of Heartland Living and many efforts there. It's a great community to work in and live.
So the collaboration is key when it comes to a lot of the success that you would define as what you can find in Hartland Township.
Yes, for sure.
So tell me, what would some people be surprised to know about your work in Hartland Township and in Livingston County?
I think I consider local government service to be a special career for me. We get to serve those values and interests that our residents more closely than any other level of government. It's very Jeffersonian in its roots. Like, who knows better how to govern themselves than the folks living in this 6 mile by 6 mile square? I always say that good local government should just be like a really good homeowners association. And that's hard to do because I think we know most HOAs aren't that great. But Hartland Township works really hard to listen to residents so we can provide those programs and even ordinances that promote and protect their interests. This often means that sometimes different constituents have competing interests, So if you're frustrated by a zoning rule that limits your business sign or how much you can put in your backyard, just know that a lot of thought and feedback from the public led to those rules. And all that's to say, to answer your question, I think the surprise for some folks might be that my job doesn't involve sitting in a smoke-filled back room dreaming up ways with other bureaucrats of policies to make your life miserable. It truly is a reflection of the community's values.
No, that's an incredibly insightful answer, and I think a true reflection of someone that is passionate about public sector engagement. I think switching a little bit into viewpoints and the role of economic development work, what is, in your view, how would you define economic development work in Livingston County and the role that the EDC has played over the years?
Yeah, at a basic level, good economic development is important really to all communities. Every town wants to keep good jobs for their sustainability. But regional economic development is just better. There's strength in those numbers. Hartland Township and Livingston County support that regional economic development model through the EDC and Ann Arbor SPARK. Mm-hmm. I know for Hartland Township, we look at a healthy Brighton, Howell, Pinckney, Fowlerville makes Hartland all the more healthier. And a healthy Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Washtenaw County means a healthy Hartland and a healthy Livingston County. And of course, on a macro level, a healthy Detroit is not only healthy Hartland, but it's a healthy Michigan. So Hartland does not have a lot of industry and probably never will, but we always say the smart people that work in those places want to live in Hartland. So we support that regional economic development model.
What are some of the assets, and this is kind of thinking a little broadly, what are some of the greater assets that through regional economic development, the work of SPARK and the EDC over the years has, I think, leveraged from Livingston County into the region? What are some of those strengths that Livingston County, I think, brings to the region, in your opinion?
Well, I love our partnership with Ann Arbor SPARK for a number of reasons. And the main one that has always been to me is being a part of even that Ann Arbor branding. Mm-hmm. Ann Arbor in itself is a strong force in economic development and doing great things down in Washtenaw County. But the joke I always tell is if you want to enjoy all the benefits of being in the Ann Arbor area, but maybe have a lower cost of entry, Livingston County is a great option for you. We still have the accessibility of the talent and the brain power and quality of places to live right here in Livingston County and still be a part of that same region. So I think that specific examples of that, I maybe can't point to right directly, but I think that was one of the first things I thought of in supporting this type of a partnership. Livingston County has many opportunities, and we have some great communities that we're already doing well in economic development in some ways. But I think the partnership and the assets that Livingston County brings to the table have been built on even more so. There's some just neat stories around the county, even right here in Hartland. Mm-hmm. I think of Colpert Biological is a little secret right in our backyard of some really interesting things that a Dutch company is doing right in our backyard for agriculture throughout North America. I won't go into details, but just a lot of neat stories like that.
And how we can help propel the storytelling of those great assets and employers and opportunities in Livingston County. So during your time on the EDC board, you have been a board member, you were appointed to the executive committee as vice chair, and then again as chairman. What would you describe as your most memorable accomplishment or success of the organization through its partnership with SPARK? Is there something that kind of stands out in your mind over the years?
I've already mentioned that really unique partnership we have with SPARK itself, I think, is quite an accomplishment. There's some proactive thinking that went into that, and I think has led to better results for us. But I'd have to say probably my most proud moment as chair has been in the last few months. Livingston County businesses really needed the support of their community during this time. And I've seen residents rally around them. The chambers of commerce have deepened their working relationships to help guide businesses through these new challenges and government funding opportunities. Marcia, you and Spark have been right there on those Zoom webinars. And small businesses may not usually be the main focus of the EDC, but they needed help, and you all had the expertise, and it was the right thing to do.
Right.
If there was any other time to be convinced of our need to support the EDC and Ann Arbor SPARK, it's right now. I trust that the public and private sector funders we have seen that value even more so.
We'd like to think that, yes, they continue to see our work and the engagement and the assistance that we try to bring into the community, and leveraging what we can from those other programs, whether it's state, federal, or even private foundation to help our business community. So in addition to your work on the EDC, you've also had a position and a role in the SPARK Executive Committee for Ann Arbor SPARK, so the larger executive committee of the SPARK board. Talk about how these roles may have changed your definition or perception of economic development. Did you see a change, or did the conversation or the agenda change as a member of the SPARK Executive Committee versus the activity that we do in Livingston County?
Well, there are a lot of neat stories. I had the privilege of being on that board and hearing in detail just how good economic development happens from many different contributing partners. I think the biggest thing I've learned in both organizations is just having an understanding and appreciation, even more so, the value of public-private partnerships. It's not really just about stretching a tax dollar further. It simply makes what we do better, I think. If government had unlimited resources and we all just hired our own economic development departments, we might do okay and even be kind of good at it. But when you have those private sector supporters at the table helping to drive the conversations and the strategy, we produce better results. And I found that forging those relationships, even even with just our neighboring communities, pays off in many other areas. So it's a great place to start conversations that pay dividends elsewhere too.
That's a very unique point of view. I don't think I've ever heard it explained in that fashion. So thank you for that. So tell me, in what ways do you believe you've grown during your tenure in Hartland? And what have you done in Livingston County that you'll take away as a best practice in your new role in Saginaw Township?
Well, I often think, unlike when I first started here, when I knew everything, I continue to learn every day just how much I don't know. And I know that's kind of cliche, but even though that really gives me more confidence today, realizing that, I know that 10 years from now, I will look back at today and shake my head about just how little I really knew in 2020.
Right.
I think the most important area that has rung true for me is in managing people and relationships. When I look back to how my management style has evolved over time, I get really excited about how much more effective our team has become. And Saginaw Township has a fantastic staff already, and I'm eager to help them continue to do great things.
Very, very good. So I think in conclusion, again, we are so truly humbled that I've had the opportunity to work with you and to get to know you better. And in the few years that I've been in this role, even though I'm a lifelong resident here in the county, to get to know the Hartland community better and under your leadership. So thank you for all of that you have done and your contribution to the EDC and to the Ann Arbor SPARK organization. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share, or on moving forward, moving Livingston County forward in the journey of economic development, or just in general of where you see things standing and moving forward?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to those supporting partners. They're so important to the work. Thank you, Marcia, to you and staff in both organizations, those supporting partners too. Just keep striving for that strong local economy. And lastly, a thank you to this great community. We'll always hold a special place for our family. Thank you.